Welcome back, Dr. Tina. Welcome to the Wellness Platform. How are you?
I am doing so well. Thank you, Miss Wendy. It's so good to see you again.
Well, I am so excited you are back because even though you're back, I've been seeing you all over the place. Like you're a celebrity in nursing right now, okay? I want to talk about everything you've been doing. I want to talk about everything you have planned because I also see that
I
on
got
social
plans.
media.
I got plans.
But in all seriousness, you have been really blazing the trail in nursing. You are definitely pioneering something so important, and you are definitely laying ground for your legacy. So before we get started, just reintroduce yourself to the
Well,
audience.
yes. Well, thank you so much again, Wendy. I always appreciate your support and collaboration. So, hi, everybody. I am Dr. Tina Loarte-Rodriguez. I am currently working in health equity research. And then I'm also really proud to say that I'm the author of Latinas in Nursing, the first book about Latina nurses. It won't be the only because there's more coming. But as Wendy said, it's been an exciting couple of months. Been doing lots of stuff with that. And actually, my first job truly is being the Uber driver for like the 3 kids and figuring out their schedules. So that I forgot to mention that's the first job I got. So I had to put that out there too.
Of course. And that's the thing, because we do all the things. People see us, especially on social media, and don't understand what's behind the curtain, like the kids, the husband, the dishes, right? Like, laundry, right? All the things, right? And I know last time you were here, you was not officially doctor. So that's even a huge accomplishment
Yeah.
there too, right? Tell us about that. When did that happen?
Whew. I finally got my beautiful paper, although I have to get the space up in the wall soon. But that came in the mail in September. I submitted all my requirements probably the second week of August. And then I literally just jumped, not jumped in. I was still doing the book at the same time. But I was like, all right, that book is done. Let me focus on this book now. But yeah, it's just been a really exciting experience to finally, see my final manuscript and the approval page and to have that nice big parchment paper. It's like, yay, it's a reality. I did it.
That is amazing. And you're really blazing the trails for not just nursing, but also your kids. You're like a role model. Especially with this book, Latinas in Nursing, that's all over the place. And I know one of the authors is taking it like out of the country. It's like on
I
its way
know.
overseas right now, right? So
It's like the
talk to
third
us about,
person. Yeah.
yeah, which is amazing. Well, talk to us about what inspired you to write this book.
Yeah. It was really the fact that there was no book written about Latinas in nursing before it. And I'm a nerd. I love to read. And I find comfort as well as a lot of innovation in reading. Like it transcends me. It helps me be limitless and boundless. And so it was during a period of time where it was December 2020. COVID was rocking us hard. And unfortunately, the persistent murders of people who look like us and those that we love was also happening at high numbers that year. And so all of that was taking its toll on me. And so I was I was doing other wellness and other self-care aspects. I was making sure I was connecting with family and friends. I was talking to my therapist, doing, my other activities to help keep me afloat and to keep me, staying on the positive side. But there was this one night in December where I was like, I really felt down. And so I was like, oh, let me see if I can find a book about me that will help bring me up and, be that light of me, like, it's going to be okay. Right. Like we got you, you're, yes, it's a rough time right now, but it's gonna pass. And Wendy, I was so disappointed. I stood up probably like 2-3 hours searching every source I had. I was on the Quinnipiac school, I was looking on Google Scholar, I was looking everywhere, and I was like, no, come on, like it has to be one. And there wasn't. And so that's where, Latinas in Nursing was born. I was like, all right, I'm going to write it.
What I love about that story, two things. One is I was just listening to a podcast about adversity, turning adversity into like opportunities, and does it really create growth? One thing that COVID did, and I can totally relate to this, is it propelled us into this intangible mindset where you're looking for something, can't find it, and you're like, I'm gonna create it.
Right.
Like it's so amazing, but it really just shows the power of you.
Yeah.
The power of perseverance, resilience, all those words, because you were looking, it wasn't there, so you said, okay, well, I'm gonna create it. I love that. I love that, love that, love that. And it shows that it just really showcases your leadership. I mean, in the field of nursing, for you to say, okay, it's not there, I'm going to create it, and I'm going to name it Latinas in Nursing. Like, we're taking up space, right? Like, I'm going to take up some space right here in the profession. So I love that. I love that. And the beauty of that is really showing people that anything is possible. If you don't see it, you can create it. You don't have to wait for someone else to create it. You don't have to wait for someone to ask you. But something else you did is you didn't just create it by yourself. You brought all these other authors along. So tell us about that experience of how you picked the co-authors. What was that discussion? So talk to us about that.
That was, around the same time too is when I actually found out that there was a National Association of Hispanic Nurses. At that point, I had been a nurse for about 14 years, and I didn't even know that there was an association for me. So I joined the association, both the national and the Hartford chapter. I went to my first chapter meeting that January, and I was like, oh, it's my people's. It's like, yes, it's like home. Right. And thankfully, through their leadership and their mission, just fully embraced me and made space for me and included me. And, they checked on me like, hey, are you okay? Are you, like, how we know we hit hard, we know we're suffering. How are you doing? And we had the beauty of doing a mental health first aid together, training together as a chapter. We've done vaccine clinics for the public. And then just going to national convention, that has been phenomenal. So what was missing was really filled for me that night when I decided to write the book, but then also found the organization. And so through that journey of now kind of meeting all these other awesome nurses who are also Latina, has just been phenomenal. So there's one who the minute I met her, I was like, yeah, she's gonna be in the book, and that's Kim. She's a diabetic nurse educator at a community health center. She's doing her DNP and psychiatric nurse practitioner training right now as well. And for me, she was like, and she's like my ride or die, right? She's my right hand. She's on my personal board of directors. And it's just been a great process to continue to learn and grow with her. And then, some of the other authors I met through some. One of them is actually my god sister, who's an OR nurse, Sharon Ramirez. And so, she was definitely one that I was like, oh, you have to be in it. And then some that I didn't know, Wendy, some that I was like, okay, because I was very intentional of who I wanted to be in the book. I wanted it to be diverse with our education, diverse with our geography, diverse with our kind of specialties in our practice. And so I was intentional about, oh, I need some entrepreneurs. Oh, I need some public health nurses. Oh, I need some professors in academia. Oh, I need some bedside. Oh, I need some students. So I just started like going out and stalking people and be like, okay, Like, let me check out their profile. All right, they look good. All right, send them a message. Hey, how you doing? I'm Tina. I have this project I'm working on. I'd like to talk to you about it. And just kind of went from there.
That's amazing. So you said community was very important,
Mhm,
joining this organization that you didn't know exists.
mhm.
I was thinking as you were talking, belonging is so important to
Yes.
well-being, to wellness. So it's so great that you found that community that also aligned you with some of the co-authors
Mhm.
in the book. Um, and even though you don't know some of them, you just planted
Yeah.
something in their lives.
Yeah.
Now, what they do with it, whatever they do with it, but you just gave them such a gift
Mm.
because this book is going to last forever. This is their legacy too, even though
Mhm.
you are the main author. But what a gift. Oh my
Mhm.
goodness, what a
Yeah.
gift you have given them. Oh my,
Yeah.
that's amazing. That is amazing. Now, out of all the authors, I know you know some of them you don't know. Whose story resonated with you the most and why?
Uh, there's so many of them, so many themes that kind of hit home. Um, but there's two that definitely kind of made me realize, our power is limitless. One is Anitez, who is a nurse from Tennessee, and she's actually, and her and her family came over from Mexico. She's a DACA recipient. And during her story, she, spoke about how she worked with the Tennessee legislator to change the law so that she can hold a professional license in the state of Tennessee. Because up until that point, she couldn't. And it's like
Wow.
that's huge, right? Like she is out there changing the law so that she can do what her gift is, which is to be a nurse for her community. And like that for me is like, you got it, girl. You got it. And then another one is Sarita's. And hers really just feels like it's like my cousin or my homegirl from back home. And she's just so raw and authentic in her storytelling and her journey, and the ups and downs. And it was like, wow, like you have done so much and you have been so brave in your journey, and you just like are just putting it out there to show everyone that, yeah, like, this is me, and this is how I got here, and this is what I'm doing, and I am a rock star, and I am thriving. So you can do it too. And that was another story that really just resonated with me.
That's right. Take up space. Take up all the
Mhm.
space. So tell me what you want this book to do to the nursing profession. Like, how do you want it to impact the nursing profession?
Yeah, so it's evolved, Wendy. It's a mission now, right? Like
Mm,
it is more than just a book, and the contributing authors, they really have embraced kind of my vision and dream of having this be big and be everywhere. And as one of them said, Dr. Grace Grau, she's like, this is nursing history. She was like, this is not just Latina history, this is nursing history. And, that really was like, whoa, like I had to stop and like really embrace that and be like, ooh, and it gives me goosebumps. But, it's just the beginning. I am so happy that it's doing well. We've been in numerous states, numerous conferences. Now we're going international. So, those of you who have bought it and read it, thank you. Please continue to post your pictures with it and share, how it's impacted you. Um, just Friday, I gave a talk at Emory University, and I actually had one of the professors message me afterwards and saying, thank you for, sharing the story so that I can continue to be empowered to know that my voice matters as well. And I'm going to continue to fight. So we definitely are going to have volume 2 and dot, 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 keep going, right? I definitely want to develop an accompanying workbook for it, as well as some curriculum, because I would love to see it throughout like the nursing and STEM pipeline from like middle school to graduate programs. I definitely have some ideas of doing some research with it being the intervention to see the pre and post from those who have read it. And it's also expanding, because I was very intentional on making it about nurses who identify as Latina, so females of, Latino heritage. But there's definitely a population of Latinos, male nurses, who a couple of them were like, "Hey, what about us?" And I was like, "Yes, no, I feel you. Yes, I see you. I love you too." So I'm happy to share that there's something in the works where Latinos in nursing is going to be coming out as well. And then I also, I love children's books, so I eventually want to get a children's book series out of it. We definitely have to have some merchandise, right? Because we need to have, our mugs and our clips and our pens and our t-shirts. And eventually we'll love to see it evolve to like a scholarship program, a mentorship program. And, who else? Who knows what's next?
I love that. And you said you spoke at Emory and you've been at some conferences. But, next time you come here, I want to hear that you were at every school of nursing,
Mhm.
especially in our state of Connecticut.
Yeah, I'm
If you
working on
haven't
that.
been there,
Yeah,
you need to be there.
yeah, yeah.
And because you have authors throughout the nation,
Mhm.
every school of nursing should be, inviting you and or your co-authors in to
Right.
really talk about the
Yeah,
importance of this book.
yeah.
Especially since minorities are not well represented in the profession. So this
Mhm.
book is going to be, well, is not going to be so pivotal.
Mhm.
And I love that you have a plan for it where it's going to start impacting lives even before they get, into college. And I think it just goes full circle of that community that night in
Mhm.
December when you were, looking for someone, something,
Yeah,
your book is going to be that something for that person at that time, which is like amazing,
yeah, yeah.
crazy.
We've so Emory University, their School of Nursing invited us down, and that's where Dr. Roxana Chica is a professor at. I also went to the University of Alabama, which is where Dr. Grace Grau is at. So thankfully, some of the contributing authors universities have had us out. I am working with UConn School of Nursing to do something, hopefully, I think in the spring. But yeah, there's definitely a opportunity for other schools to continue to, invite us in and to host events for us and their students and their staff and their faculty, right? Like this
Yes.
is for everyone, and so it's really a huge opportunity that I am happy to connect with anybody who wants to, book us.
Yeah, I love this. And I don't know if you said it or not, but I see a conference,
Mm.
Latinas in Nursing conference happening here, an annual thing where people are coming, from different states, different countries to be a
Mhm.
part of this. I see it.
Yeah. It
So
was
I don't know. I don't know what vision I'm having, but
I think
but
you're reading my mind. You're reading my mind because as I was going down the list, I was like, "Oh yeah, conference too is on there."
oh yeah. Oh yeah. But this one moment in time in December propelled like
Right.
crazy.
Yeah.
Like mind blowing. Mind blowing.
And it's the power, of commitment and passion. And really, I feel like it's a big part of my purpose, about my why.
Mhm.
And it the book and the mission is a gift to myself, to my children and my family as they supported me while I was, curating it and writing it and editing it, and now, out there living it. And it's just been just a gift to experience it and to connect with people and to hear them, thank us for what we've done and for the impact that it's had so far. So I'm just really blessed and really happy that it's out there.
Yeah, and what would you tell the nurse who's listening, who has the idea, right? Around it could be a book, it could be who knows, but who
Yeah.
has the idea, who's sitting there ruminating over it? What would you tell that nurse? What will be the next best step? What advice would you give her or him?
Yes, you can do it. Do your research, utilize your network, stay curious, stay focused, and like any big plan, you got to break it up into little bite-sized manageable actions so that you don't get overwhelmed and that you don't get defeated. But your thought can become a reality, and there's a need for it out there, right? Like if you are thinking it and you feel like it's something that would benefit, there's probably at least 1,000 other people out there as well who would be like, oh, I wish I had that, or this is missing, right? And so it's just a huge opportunity. For nursing has always been a science of innovation, right? A science of improvement, a science of curiosity and change. And so embrace that, like don't let nobody tell you can't do it, and really, utilize your resources, find a good mentor, find a good kind of support group to help you keep you accountable and to help you really manifest it. But your thought can be a reality. So you got it.
That's amazing. And I have to ask you this one question. If you could do it all over, what would you do different?
I think the only thing I would do different would be I wish I would have done it faster. That's one thing. Because again, from 2020 to when it came out in 2023. But there were some things going on in between there, like finishing my master's, doing my doctorate. Again, I'm the mother of 3 beautiful children, a wife, a daughter, life. But I think definitely the editing process I would have done differently. And it's on my list for the next book. Really ensuring that I have like a blinded group of editors instead of just having, because my publishing company did a lot of the editing, but then the final revision or final approval came to me. And so I was like, it's my baby, my project. So I see it all the time. So when you're in it all the time, right, you're like, this can get too overwhelming. So I would definitely just have more people do the final review with me.
I love it. And you're going to have so many more opportunities to do that.
Exactly. Exactly. I already got people signed up to do the next one.
That is amazing. And I know you're part of just talking about belonging before I let you go. I want you to talk about DNPs of color.
Yes.
I want because now that you have your doctorate, you found your Latina nursing group. I want to talk about this this community and what they're doing and what it means to you.
DNPs of color and what Dr. Danielle McCamey has created and what the rest of the board and including you, Miss Wendy, and the advisory committee, as well as, my fellow co-chairs and now our members, right? Because now we are an official organization. Everybody show your green checks. It's just phenomenal. I always was impressed with the power and intentionality that Dr. Danielle McCamey had on the platforms and what she was doing with the organization, to then actually be in the presence with everybody at the 3rd annual conference in DC in October. Again, like it just filled my soul. It just invigorated me, rejuvenated me. It was, again, this feeling safe, feeling accepted. And then on top of all that, to see all the excellence around, like everywhere you turn, people are doing their thing and big, right? Like big things. We have business owners and quadruple certified nurses who are the first nurses to be accepted into the Emergency Nursing Association in Texas. And then, then we have history too there, right? Like we had Virginia Allen from the Black Angels.
Oh my
And
goodness.
to hear her speak, just to see all the other, nursing legends, the living nursing legends, right, that were there on that stage or on those panels or in the seats next to us and on the dance floor too, because it wasn't all academics and excellence. We got down too, right? Because that's how DMPs do. We jammed out. We had
Oh
fun.
yeah, it's all on social media if you haven't seen it. Oh yeah.
I think I danced the whole night. It was amazing. But it's just, again, so empowering to have that community, to have that space, to have now, those connections and those people that now if I need somebody, I'm like, oh, hey, let me reach out to my docs. Like, hey, I have a question for this. Who got me? And, and the power of the network. And Dr. Danielle McCamey always says, your network is your net worth. And I just feel so blessed and so privileged to have now that community as well in my, in my life.
Yeah, no, that's a powerful community. Very powerful.
There's
Um,
takers and movers there.
Absolutely. And I want to like make the connection for people who are listening, because I know we're talking about all these things about belonging and representation and big dreams and doing the thing. But when you feel like you belong, you feel supported, you feel represented, that's like watering your soil. So you can only go up, right? You can only bring those thoughts and ideas to reality, right? When we sit with it by ourselves and we don't feel like we belong or we're questioning or the stress of that, we can't work or like operate our optimal levels, right? You wouldn't be able to birth this book, right? And when you get into a community like that, even if you don't have the thought, you don't have whatever, someone's going to tap you. Like you tap so many people. Like I don't even think they probably understand the magnitude of what's happening. But when you get into those communities, you blossom. Whether it's your own idea or it's someone saying, hey, come on with me. I got you. But that's the power of community. That's the power of belonging. So that's the full circle moment there. If you just stayed in your bed looking online and moaning and groaning that there's nothing out there for you that you can relate to, then we wouldn't be here. I mean, you wouldn't really be leaving your footprint in this world. So it's just so powerful. So powerful. I want to just kind of bring that home for everyone. I think we're talking about a little bit of things here, but that's it. Community is very important.
Most definitely. And I write a little bit that in my book in the introduction about, the power of the Latino community, like our numbers in the census, our economic contributions to the United States, our political contributions by being registered voters. Yet through all that, right, like there's not enough of us in positions of power and positions of leadership that are able to continue to thrive and inspire and to innovate and to, really have a privilege, right, to do that stuff, but we're still doing it, right? And like, and I say, imagine if we didn't have to overcome all of that, how much power, what else we would be able to do, because like some days we're out there just trying to survive, right? Like trying not to get killed and trying to just, bring bread home for the family and to be able to go to church and to be there for the community. But imagine if there was safe spaces for the collective to really tap into their inner potential and then to connect with the larger community for the greater good. Like there would be so much more that could come out of it. And that's that's kind of, the fuel for me, is that there's so much potential. There's so much need as well, right? And so
Mhm.
it's just that I'm not waiting anymore. I'm just making it happen.
Ooh, I love that. I'm not asking for permission. I'm just making it happen. I was online, I didn't see anything, so I created it. Like, mic drop, right? Like, that is a mic drop moment. Well, Dr. Tina, it has been a pleasure. I look forward to seeing you continue to grow. And I'll be bringing you back again with volume 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes.
And I can't wait for the conference. Definitely, I'll be there, right?
All right. We'll start planning now.
Absolutely. So, how can people get in contact with you, and where can they get the book?
So the book is available on the website, latinasinnursing.com, as well as on Amazon. You can find me on LinkedIn, on Instagram. Yeah. And you can also email me at tlr@latinasinnursing.com.
Awesome. Tina, any last words before we close our session?
It's just always a privilege to be with you, Wendy. Thank you for all that you're doing, because we need to interview you too. Like, we need to turn it Wellness with Wendy, let's interview Wendy and all the stuff she got going on, because you one of my accountability sisters. You're one of my confidence boosters. So I'm so grateful for you and your support. Thank you for having me, and I can't wait to chat again.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Until next time.
Yes.
Take care.
Take care. Be well.